Hey, welcome back to class. In today's class, we're gonna learn another strike, we're gonna work some combos, and continue working on our speed strikes. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started. First thing we're gonna do is review. So let's go ahead and review upward strikes 1 through 3. I want you to go ahead and do this along with me, and I'm gonna call it out, and I want you to do it slightly before me. So upward strike number 1, go ahead and show me what that looks like. Should look just like this. Make sure you're sending it all the way out. Make sure you're striking right through the center. And go ahead and do upward strike number 2 now. Should look like that. Now we are doing that upward strike number 1, except for when we get to that solar plexus level, we do an outside spin. Make sure that outside spin, as it's coming back up through that center, we want to cut through that center line. Try to catch it in the black, and each time, try to catch it so that the chuck that you're holding is horizontal. Try not to move the tip of the chuck too big whenever we're doing this. All right, so we don't want to go here. We want to hold it relatively still as that circle happens. And that happens and we raise up. Here, so we're not making this big motion with the wrist. All right, go ahead and do upward strike number 3. I'm waiting on you. You do it first. Yeah, you know what it is, right? Hopefully. Upward strike number 3. So we're striking right up that center line, catching it here. As we're getting ready to grab it again, we're going to drop this tip downwards so it's up slightly. Drop it downwards so it's flat. We're gonna bring our elbow in, and that lowers this black portion right here. I'm gonna grab that and go on the other side. Can't grab it, but when I lower it and bring it in, it should be able to go right into my hand, and then I can go to that next one. Sometimes you have to feel for it a little bit though. As we're doing this, other hand goes to that center line. And while we're at it, what stance is this? Which basic stance is this? This is upward strike number 3. It's basic stance number 3 as well. It's an easy way to remember. Okay, now let's go to downward strike number 1. Go ahead and show me downward strike number 1. Yep, you did this, right? Good. I hope you did. If you didn't, well, did you watch the other classes? Or were you not paying attention to the other classes? Hopefully you pay attention. Hopefully you're trying to remember this and practice it a little bit more outside of these classes. Try to strike right through that center line. Make sure we do that windshield wiper motion over here. That way we're not hitting ourselves on the head. We're not wrapping it and smacking our back of our head. We should pass here, and then we just put our hand there for that catch. But if you hit your head, it happens. It's okay. Right? I do it too. Now we're gonna go to downward strike number 2. Go ahead and show me that. All right, so same thing as downward strike number 1, except for we have that outside spin as soon as we get to that solar plexus level, just like our upward strike number 2. It's the same thing, but opposite. Try to keep catching in the black. If you catch it in the white, that's fine. Just adjust it and go to the black. Okay, from here, let's go ahead and do sideways strike number 1. Show me sideways strike number 1 and the reset, right? If we're just doing that strike, you're gonna have to do that reset. The reset is upward strike number 3. It should look like this. Around and up. So I call this my lateral over-under because I'm going over one shoulder, catching it underneath the other, and then upward 3 is our reset. Then we strike again, here, and upward 3. Make sure that we're not going downward at this angle, kind of like a downward strike. And I don't want to do that. I can still catch it, but it's different. Right? I want to go here and up. Don't want to go boom. I don't want to go too upward or downward or anything else. I want to just go flat as I'm doing those sideways strikes. Now go ahead and show me sideways strike number 2. know what? Do you remember it? Pretty sure we learned this last class. I will call this one the lateral under over. This is one of the harder ones. A lot of people hit themselves in the head. It's okay if you do. We want to go here, and we bring up and over the head. Strike here, up and over the head. Keep this going. Strike, under, over, and around the head. Over and around the head. Same thing, I don't want to go too far this way. I want to go this way. I want to, see, if I go that way, I'm just going to hit myself. I want to go horizontal. Okay, last one I want you to show me is variation number 1. Variation strike number 1. All right, it's that downward strike first, and then we have our sideways strike, followed by our third upward for that reset. Downward, sideways 1, so over, under, third upward strike. It's kind of like 3 strikes put together. So this is our variation strike number 1. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call out the strikes and I want you to do them once I call them out. So let's go ahead and start with that variation strike number 1. And from here, I want you to go ahead and I'm gonna call out and I'm gonna keep doing the other strike and then I'll transition so you can think about it first. Go to downward strike number 2. Okay, downward strike number 2. Sideways strike number 2. Under, over, under, over. Upward strike number 1. Sideways strike number 1. With upward strike number 2. Okay, now I'm gonna call them out a little bit faster and I'm gonna go right to them as well, and I want you to try to get it as quick as you can. Upward strike 1. Side strike 2. Variation 1. Down 2. Up 3. Variation 1. Down 1. Up 1. Up 2. Up 3. Down 1. Down 2. Side 1. Side 2. Variation 1. And time. Okay, great job on that. Hopefully you're able to kind of keep up. I know it's a little bit difficult when I start going really fast, especially if you don't have these numbers memorized. I know it can be a little bit confusing because you're like, numbers. Wait till we have a lot more numbers and then you're just like, That's why we have to practice them in this random order so you can just recall what it is and try to associate that number to that strike instead of trying to sit here and think back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that one, okay. All right, so if we mix them up, you'll be able to recall them a little bit easier. So we're gonna learn a new technique now. This is it's a really difficult strike, but it's a really easy strike. It's really difficult to get the nuances of this strike, but the motion of it's easy, right? So you're not really gonna be hitting yourself like you did on the sideways 2. I'm just gonna assume that you hit yourself in the head sideways 2 because everyone does. All right, you're not really gonna be hitting yourself on this, but it's hard to make it, a really crisp strike. And I would say this one took me the longest to make it look even decent, honestly. Okay, so what it is, it's a forward strike or a front strike, number 1. Okay, so what makes this so hard is as I'm flicking this out, I want this to flip over, and I want this sound. I'm gonna hold it up to my chest so you can hear it. And now that sound happens because there's slack in the string, and then it gets taken out, right? And that's what we want to happen here. Now, one thing that happened to me a lot is I would go here, and I would kind of keep this, I would keep the tension on the string almost the whole time, and I didn't really have that, or it would kind of circle around and go downwards. So what you need to do is you need to shoot out, and we're going to, this is called casting, but it's like flicking the wrist outwards, right? So you can hold both the chucks here to practice it at first. As I'm pushing forward with my arm, I'm going to push out, right? Notice how I'm holding it like a hammer, and then I extend it out like I'm casting a fishing rod. That's why it's called casting, right? So I'm going here. So I want this motion, but I have to stop the tip here. So at the end of my cast, I actually have to apply a little bit of this flexion motion, but I can't do it too much, right? I can't go boom, boom. And if I do that, it's all over the place. So you have to throw it, but you have to apply just a little bit of backwards pressure here so that you don't get dragged down by the chuck, but it goes here. So that's the difficult part, is just that little bit of flick back as you flick forward, and then flick back just enough, but it's gotta be less of a flick backwards to hold the tip of the chuck still while this one flies out, hits, and then falls down. Again, it's a very difficult strike, and my left hand still doesn't do it very good, but you can hear it once you have it right. It should make a nice, crisp popping sound, so that one wasn't a very good one. That one was a pretty good one, right? I can hear the pop, right? And it's that string. It should sound like that. If it's different sounds, right, you'll start to understand what it feels like. So you're gonna do a bunch, and a lot of them will be kind of wrong, and then you'll hear one, and you'll be like, that's what he's talking about, that one. And then you have to feel what your body did to replicate that motion, okay? It takes a long time to actually get this strike correct. So just, that's my warning with it. But let's go ahead and let's practice it. Let's do 30 on each side. So personally, I like to start with it here in the crease of my arm as I go for it. Sometimes you will be starting with it up over the top of the shoulder, or even just high on the arm up here, right? And you should kind of work on being able to do it from all of those positions, okay? Play with it. We'll figure it out. We're gonna keep practicing it. Ready? And you're also going to use the body, right? Push your hip forward, chest forward as we reach out with that and bring it back. It's a little bit harder. You can do it with the arms, but I want you to try to think of it kind of like a punch. Boom. We're trying to throw this strike where it hits and it jabs. That's how this strike is impacting. We're hitting with the butt of the chuck. All right, ready? 30 of them. And begin. 1, 2. Just raise it back up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, let's try it with the other arm. Now this one might be way sloppier. That's okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so now put it on the shoulder right here. And if you're going from the shoulder position, you have to kind of start off slow, and then once the black part is on your shoulder, then you can extend it out. If you try to extend it out while the chuck is still pointed slightly downwards, right? So see how the butt of the chuck is angled slightly downwards? If I try to shoot it here, it really likes to just swing hard down. So you kind of have to slow it and then you can shoot it, right? So if I'm here, I want to pop it out and then shoot it, as opposed to, right? It gives a lot of that spinning momentum to kind of fling off of the back as we do that. So be aware of that. Again, like I said, you will be doing it from some different positions, and one of them will be up more on the shoulder or on the arm. Again, when I practice this a lot, I practice with it kind of in the crease of the elbow as I do it, but you should get also in the hang of going from there and shooting it out as well. Okay, like I said, this is not an easy strike. Not to master or make it look nice consistently. It's relatively easy to not hit yourself up though. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna work some combinations. So the first combination is going to be forward strike, upward 3, and then we're gonna go downward 2. So we're kind of just switching, right? Because after the forward strike, we kind of did an upward 3 anyways, but now I want you to focus on the upward 3. So before I kind of just went boom, and then I just kind of popped it back, right? Now I want you to hit with that upward 3. All right, so I'm here, pop it here, hit with the upward 3 instead of just this reset. Right? You can see the difference. This is literally just putting it back onto my arm instead of striking. Right? So I want you to think of it as a strike as we do this instead of just a reset. Ready? And begin. Forward strike 1, upward 3, downward 2, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Look at the angle of this now. That's why I talked about it. So now when I'm in that position, I either have to let it roll down here, or because it's already high up on the shoulder, and then shoot it out. Upward 3, downward 2. And it's starting that way because I did this catch here. So it's starting down real low. Shoot it out. Upward 3, downward 2. Don't have to grab it underneath. And keep this going. Shoot it out. Up 3, reach out as we do that. Down 2. 1, up 3, down 2. Front 1, up 3, down 2. 1, 3, 2. 1, 3, now is just gonna be 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, front, up, down, front, up, down, front, up, down. Keep this going. You don't have to go super fast. Anything, I really want you to focus more on getting that forward strike correct than anything else, right? So we're not gonna go for speed on this one because I want that front strike to be crisp as possible. Right? I don't expect it to be great today, not at all. Right? I'll be happy if you get a few of them popping. If you could hit them consistently by the end of this class, I would be really impressed. Unless you're just a G with nunchucks, you know. Maybe you're just awesome. Bruce Lee incarnate, right? Popping my body, that was a bad front strike. Notice I was popping my body forward with these. And that's how you get that reach and get some power in there. Take a breath. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do this one, you know the techniques of. I want you to say it and I want you to figure it out and then we'll go. So you're gonna do sideways number 2, then we're gonna do variation number 1, remember the reset, and then downward number 1, okay? So again, sideways 2, variation 1, downward. If you figured it out. So this is what it should look like. Sideways 2. Go over the head, variation 1, upward 3 for the reset, and then we have a downward 1, switching to the other side. And then again, sideways 2, over the head, variation 1, upward 3 for the reset, downward 1. Ready? Let's practice it. Begin. Side 2, variation 1, down 1. Side 2, variation 1, down 1. Side 2, under over, variation 1, down 1. Side 2, under over the head, variation 1, up 3, and then that was gonna be down 1. Side 2, variation. All right, let's keep it going. Another side strike. Sideways 2, over the head, variation. That was variation 2. Variation 1, upward 3, downward 1. Side 2, over the head, variation 1, up, down 1. Side 2, variation 1, down 1. Side 2, variation 1, down 1. Side 2, variation 1. Even though I'm saying it, I almost forgot what I was doing. Hopefully you guys are feeling this one a little bit better than I am. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's pick up the pace of this one a little bit. So we're we're still working on technique obviously, but I want you to try to push the pace a little bit. When you start to get confused and forget what technique's next, then slow down and then try to speed it up again when your body remembers. Ready? Begin. What am I doing? Side one, side two, variation one, down one, side two, variation one, down one, side two, variation one, down one, side two. All right, I think I'm starting to get it. Mess up right there. Okay, cool. How you guys doing? Feeling pretty good about it? Yep. Awesome. Pick up that speed. Down one. Side two. Variation one. Down one. Side two. Variation one. Down one. Two. Not that one. Variation one. Down one. What am I doing? Here. 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 Sometimes if I go too fast, I just forget what's going on. All right, take a breath. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do some speed strikes. So just like we did speed strikes in our last class, we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna pick a different technique. So today's technique, we're gonna do downward strike number one. Okay, if you guys remember what downward strike number one is, I'm going to set a timer for 1 minute. I'm not gonna count my first time. Again, like before, I want you to count both of them. Your goal is to do 60 or more within 1 minute. We got 60 seconds to one strike per second. I think you could beat that. Let me know if you do or not. Ready? Begin. I'm not gonna count my first one. Just keep this going. Right? Downward strike number one. Let it fall right into your hand as you're doing this. At least one per second. Ideally, a little bit faster than one per second. See how many you can get. Keep in the black. Fall right into your hand. Time. Take a breath. Shake the arms out. Do what you need to get ready for your last one. I don't know about you, but I think I beat 60 in 60 seconds. What'd you get? After this next one, I want you to let me know. When my fingers up a little bit. Okay, let's get ready. I will be counting on this one. Hopefully you don't get annoyed with my counting. Ready, set, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, almost dropped, 86. All right, so I got 86. Right. How many did you get? Did you beat me? Maybe. Maybe you beat me. Okay, cool. I'm okay with you beating me. You can go faster than me. It's fine with me. All right, let me know what you got. Your best of the two. Go ahead and comment those down below. and then we're going to do another speed technique. You can already guess what it is. We've done it for every class so far. We're gonna keep doing it for all the classes because it's important. It's gonna be how you're gonna be good at catching it, right? And it's important to catch it, especially when you start sparring. You want to not have it pop out of your hands. It's not a good thing, okay? So you already know what we're doing. We're doing gripping. We're gonna do 3 sets, 30 seconds, gripping, trying to beat our goal of what? What's your goal? 40, yes. Trying to beat the goal of 40. Just because we beat the goal of 40 does not mean we stop at 40, right? Same thing with the last one. We don't stop at 60 because that's our goal to beat. We see how many we can get, right? That's the goal. We want to get as many as we can. So let's go ahead and let's get that timer set up. All right, ready, set, begin. And I'm not counting on this one, but I still want you to try to go as fast as you can. Sometimes, like I said, it helps if I get into this kind of a ready stance as I'm doing it. Slightly leaning forward, bend my knees. I feel like I can go a little bit faster when I do it that way. And try to stay relaxed. Try not to tense up too much. Okay, you might put a little bit of tension in just to get that movement going. Time. But I don't want you to stay tense the whole time. If you stay tense the whole time, you're gonna end up dropping it. It's not gonna be a very good one. Okay, so I'm gonna count this time. We'll see if I can beat the goal of 60. Right? Again, that's my goal each time, is to beat 60. Your goal is to beat 40 or to beat me. Right? Either one. Beat me is a more fun goal. You can do it. All right, ready? Set. Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. Cool. All right, guys. So you might have noticed, maybe not, you're paying attention to yourself. You might have noticed I dropped it. I picked it up and I still got 61. All right, so I still beat my goal. So even if you drop it, I don't want you to, I dropped it and then give up. All right, that time's still going. You can pick it up. You can pick up that pace and you can still make your goal. I made my goal even though I dropped it, right? So yes, it's frustrating, but don't get frustrated and quit, right? Don't give up for that round. You can still make that round count. Pick it up and keep going. All right, give it a few more seconds, and then we're going to go through one more. Again, I'm not gonna count this time. I still want you to. Still trying to beat those goals. You saw I got 61, so if you can beat 40, try to beat 50. If you can beat 50, try to beat 60. If you can beat 60, try to beat me, which is just one more than 60. You could probably do it. If you can beat 60, you could probably do that, as long as you don't drop it like I did, right? Okay, last set. Ready? And begin. Dropped it at the beginning. Keep it going, keep it going. Time. All right, great job. Hopefully you beat those goals. Let me know what you got down in the comments below. Tell me what you got. Tell me what you got for both of them. I want to know what you got for your downward speed strikes. And then, write in the comment too, downward one, got this, gripping, got this, right? And the reason I want you to do that too is so that you can later on go back and you can test your goals, right? Or you can test where you were versus where you are in the future, where you're gonna be, something like that. Yeah, you can go back and you can see what you did, and then you can prove to yourself, hey, look, I got a lot better. And we're gonna be doing this with the speed strikes with most of our strikes. Really, yeah, most of them, not all of them. Like forward strike wouldn't be a good one for speed strikes. But we're gonna be working with that, and I want you to set these goals, and your goal is either whatever it is for the requirement, but some of these don't have aren't in the requirement. So then your goal is just to get better. Right? The goal is, it really is overall, it's just to get better at this. Right? It's a fun thing. We're playing around with it. It's for fun. It's for coordination. We're always just trying to improve. So I want you to continue to improve. And it always helps if we have markers to know that we are improving, instead of some days we just feel like, oh man, I suck, I'm not getting any better. You go back and look and you're like, oh man, I'm so much better than I used to be. It's a good feeling. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly recap what we went over today. First thing that we did is we started off with the review. We reviewed our upward strikes 1 through 3, our downward strikes 1 through 2, our sideways strikes 1 through 2, and our variation strike number 2. After that, we learned our forward strike. Again, very hard one to actually make correct. Pretty easy to do, but hard to get the nuances on it. Then we went into combinations. The first combination was a forward strike, then we went with upward 3 and a downward 2, and we repeated it onto the other side. After that, we did another combination, which was our sideways 2, brought it over the head. We went to variation 1, reset our side with the upward number 3, and then we went to a downward 1. Okay, after that, we did speed strikes. So we did our downward 1, so our first downward strike. For speed strikes, we tried to beat 60 in 60 seconds, so 1 per second. Probably did that right. And then we did our gripping for speed. So we did 3 sets of 30 seconds. Again, our goal here was to beat 40 seconds, or to beat 40 grips in 30 seconds. Hopefully you enjoyed today's class. If you did, let me know. What'd you like about it? What'd you not like? Like, subscribe. Hopefully you commented earlier like I told you to. And I will see you in the next class. Have a great day, you guys.